Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is your timeless reading, meaning whenever you see this reading, there may be some messages in here for you. Be sure to look at the numerology of the reading, the date it was posted, the timestamp, because all of those things may have some channeled guidance for you. We are going to start with an oracle deck and then clarify with tarot. Okay, so there's a bit of a stubborn energy. We got believe in the impossible, blue moon in the reverse position. So part of the stubbornness I'm sensing is not being able to believe that certain things can be possible or that certain things can be true, specifically for you, okay, in the way that you've always viewed life. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have look at the bigger picture in the upright position, full moon in Sagittarius. So with these two energies, it's very polarizing, both of these energies, because you have a blue moon, which is rare, right? It's the idea of something that is rare. But there's also this energy that, like, the bigger picture of life is that there are more things that happen that seem rare, that are more likely when you adjust like what grounds you in your human existence, because there is this energy that, like, whatever grounds you, whatever like pushes you forward and gives you the drive to do whatever it is that you want to do, there's this element that it always has to be like 100% practical, or you just fundamentally don't see the vision, you don't get it. And that is kind of hindering your bigger picture, because there are elements where you could really be expanding, but because you can't see that, then they really don't exist. Like, that's the bigger picture, is that what you limit for yourself in your reality is your reality. So therefore, what you change inevitably about how you view yourself in your reality will change what is possible. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and pull some clarifying tarot for that. And there is, like, you may have prominent Sag placements, or you may want to look at wherever Sagittarius is in your birth chart, or you may have Sag energy around you that has this level of ambition that I feel like is good for you to tap into, pay attention to, be more open to. Don't allow the presence of this energy, wherever Sag shows up in your chart or in your life, to threaten you. Allow it to be proof of concept that there is a level of thinking and being that is supportive of even your largest, wildest dreams. Okay, so we have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position. Actually, gonna move these. I'll be indecisive about where I want these to be. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position. Okay, and the Three of Wands. So one of the reasons why you're struggling right now, just make sure my light isn't giving too much glare. Promise y'all I'm working out the vibes here. Trying to anyway. Okay, perfect. So, and that's the thing, okay? Even that experience, right? Like the minor adjustments, It's like be willing to do things wonky and imperfect. And I feel like there's a resistance to that, where like you will not do something that you feel like you don't perceive as like it looks perfect or it is perfect or it's a grand gesture or it's like, I don't know, with the 10 of Pentacles, that is like, there's heavy earth energy with that. There's success that comes along with the 10 of Pentacles. There's feeling like you built something that matters that comes along with the 10 of Pentacles, right? And there's this deeper desire to do that because you have a vision for your future. Like you're not confused about what you want your vision, what you want your future to look like. I don't think you're willing to do it clumsily. I don't think you're willing to discover stability along the way. I don't think you're willing to go from good to great. I think that you are struggling to believe in the impossible because you feel like you have to immediately be the best version of yourself. Okay, there's some confirmation there with the 9 of Swords in the reverse position because really like you are extremely hard on yourself. I would border on being like a bully to yourself, like because there's this energy around needing to release negative thought patterns and negative thought loops that you get yourself trapped in because you think that it's discipline, but it's like I'm not gonna lie to you, like it's abuse. It's not discipline what you do to yourself. It's like, it's abuse. 8 of Wands in the reverse position. You don't communicate nicely to yourself. Use nice words. Like you don't you and we're going to dive deeper into that. We're going to clarify this with the Soul Symphony deck here. You do not use kind words when you speak to yourself. This is also very karmic. Like you have been put here to change the dialogue. You have been put here to be a better internal father to yourself than you maybe received externally or that is within your generational bloodline. Because there is a karmic element where there is a spiritual change that needs to take place when it comes to how you communicate with yourself and how you support yourself mentally. And part of it is like you need to cut out the verbal abuse toward yourself because it's also what's part of holding you back from achieving what you want to and believing that that's possible. Okay. But like I said in the beginning of this reading, there is a resistance to shifting this mentality. Okay, we have around spring in the reverse position. Okay, so there is the big part of why there's resistance is because you may struggle with being a self-starter. You may struggle with taking the initiative to take action steps that have healthy benefits for yourself. It's like you don't feel the necessity to do that work on yourself sometimes, or you're very sluggish to do that for yourself. I mean, I don't mean to say sluggish to be rude, but I mean that like you already know, like you haven't been getting signs all over the universe about needing to change your relationship and improve your relationship with yourself. You already know this. I just think that there is a strain when it comes to being more self-starting with this energy. Okay, so let's clarify why that might be. Okay, so there's a lack of patience. There's definitely a huge lack of patience for self because you have a lot of judgments about where your life is currently. There's a lack of appreciation for how far you've come in certain ways because you don't see progress in other areas. And so at this present moment that you're coming to this reading, you may be getting very triggered about feeling like you're always going to be stuck in this holding pattern, or you're always going to be stuck in this lack mindset, because there is a huge lack mindset that goes along with this. There is a huge, there's not enough out there for me. There's not enough for me. There's nothing more for me. And that's just not true. That is a reflection of your inner world and how you speak to yourself. Okay. Pregnancy in the reverse position. So, I mean, in this instance with the pregnancy card, I'm not necessarily getting literal pregnancy vibes. I'm getting more of like the energy of giving birth to a new self, but you're essentially stalling on delivery, if that makes sense, because you keep finding new reasons to pick yourself apart. I mean, that's the truth. Like, your inner dialogue is poor. And okay, mother figure in reverse. I don't know if you didn't have somebody speak softly to you or speak love into you, but you have to work on doing that for yourself. You have to reparent yourself on both fronts, the father and the mother, because being strict and hard on yourself is that father energy, but also being a lack of nurturing, that issue when it comes to like the self start is the masculine, but what you're specifically self starting is like things that will benefit you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, so that's that feminine aspect that you will drag your feet on. So it's like, I struggle to start things because I'm focused too much on everything I haven't accomplished, and I don't appreciate some of the things that I have overcome in this time period. I'm triggered because I feel like this means I'll always be in this place, and I'm not helping myself along the way by being more nurturing and more loving toward myself. I'm in fact doing the opposite, being harder on myself and more cutthroat. And that's what's blocking the blessing. Okay, around fall. So exactly. So this is abundance, right? So we have abundance here for you, and we have this Eight of Wands energy where the abundance is on its way, but it's being thwarted and blocked because of the communication that you put out into the ethers about yourself. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck, we have risk. Okay, and then we also have Five of Wands. So part of the reasons why you struggle with changing the way that you speak to yourself is because you feel like if you are soft with yourself at any point, then you will slip back, or you will have a backslide into poor habits. And so you need to have a separation or start to discern emotionally between self-nurturing and giving yourself a pass about things that you know you need to be strict on. And one of the biggest ways that you can try to decipher the two, if I can offer just any advice, is that, anxiety is a part of decision making most of the time. And when you make a particular decision where you immediately feel panic, depending on where you're at in your growth area, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've made a wrong choice. You've just made a choice that your nervous system isn't prepared to hold, right? So when you consciously know that you're making a nurturing choice, so let's say you've made a mistake, and instead of beating yourself up about it and calling yourself names, you say out loud to yourself, I didn't have better tools, and that's why I didn't do better. And sit with how that feels. And even if it feels uncomfortable, it feels like you're taking a risk, like you're letting yourself slide, like you're not holding yourself accountable. Allow your nervous system to get used to that softer talk to yourself. You're going to have to like prime your nervous system to understand the difference between giving yourself an excuse and giving yourself love and nurturing. So I hope this was helpful to someone. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. You can also find information on how to book a personal reading with me in the description box. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.